So for your real estate exam, finance is 9% on the test. It doesn't sound like a lot, and the good news is you don't have to do numbers. So what you need to know for the real estate test regarding financing. So on your book, you should have Truth in Lending enacted 2, and you're gonna write in, disclose credit terms in a meaningful way. So basically, as a lender, once you guys get a buyer, okay, you send the buyer to somebody like me, we get them pre-approved. We have 3 business days from the time that they have found a home to the time that we need to get them a loan estimate. And we need to disclose to them how much it's gonna cost them. What is the loan gonna cost? What are the payments gonna be? What is the APR? So we have to make sure the buyer knows what they're getting themselves into. Party responsible to disclose. Who discloses all this to these new buyers? That would be the creditor furnishes the disclosures. So it'd be the loan officer who works for the company who's going to do the loan. We're going to furnish that within 3 business days. I know I need to give you guys time to wake up and write and get your coffee in your system. And see, I wore my red for Valentine's Day, so everybody will know we're here on Valentine's Day, making sure you pass the real estate exam. Exempt from Regulation Z for all except residential loans. So commercial loans, subprime loans, actually even second trust deed loans. So when you do a purchase loan, like recently I closed one that was called an 80-10-10. The buyer came in with 10% down. I got them a 10% second and an 80% first. So the second did not need to disclose everything the way that the first did because it's not under Regulation Z. So Reg Z is for residential homeowners, people who are buying their home. And I know you guys will wake up any minute and start asking me questions. Right to rescind for a loan. So rescinding means you're canceling out the contract. You don't rescind on a purchase loan, you rescind on a refinance of your primary residence. So existing principal residence or dwelling. So when one of your clients says, you know, I'm thinking about refinancing, who can you refer to me? Or they go to refinance through somebody, they have a 3-day right of rescission. So they sign their loan documents and then they have to wait 3 days. Yes, we have a question. You're awake, yay.
Is the second home exempt from Reg Z?
The second home's not completely exempt from Regulation Z, but the second home does not have the 3-day right of rescission. So it's interesting because it's interesting you should ask that, but a second home or a rental property or anything like that does not have the 3-day right of rescission. And from what I was told a long time ago, the reason it doesn't is because if you're a home investor, you should know what kind of loan you're getting, and basically they say you're a big boy. You should know what you're doing on your rental properties. However, a lot of people don't. I mean, especially if they own one home and one rental property or one home and a second home, like a cabin or something by the beach. So those do not have the 3-day right of rescission. The only one that has a 3-day right of rescission is the home that they're living in. If rate placed in an ad. So when a loan company advertises a rate, they have to have the APR. On your California real estate exam, it's called the effective rate. So the effective rate is the actual rate they're paying, not the rate on the note. The note rate is slightly lower, usually about a quarter. And let me know if I'm going too fast for you. When I see the little thing spinning, I start worrying. I'm like, I know, on the webinar, we usually don't get cut off, but anytime we get cut off, usually it's when we're using Zoom, and sometimes we get cut off and you just re-up yourself. So we should be good, we're on webinar today. 2 most crucial facts to be disclosed. The finance charge and the annual percentage rate, that is the APR. I have my one student in here who's writing, so I'm watching her write. And when she's done, I know that you guys are probably done because she writes about average speed, I think. I don't think you write very fast, do you? Effective interest rate versus nominal interest rate. Well, the best way to remember nominal interest rate is that's the note rate. So NO in nominal and NO in note. So effective rate is the rate actually paid. The nominal rate is the rate that's on the note. So after you write all that, circle the NO in note and the NO in nominal. Remember, circling items when you're studying for a test, for some reason it like embeds it in your brain. I have always done that and it has always worked. So I want to make sure you're not just learning word association, but you're also learning stuff that you need to know as a real estate agent. Triggering terms in an ad. So these are some of the things that I think are new on the test because these are some of the things that the loan officers are being tested on. So a triggering term in the ad, if you have a triggering term in the ad, you have to have the APR. So you must disclose the APR and all terms. So for truth in lending, not only do you have to have the APR on the ad, but the good news is if you have the APR on the ad, you don't have to have any of the other disclosures. So whenever a lender is advertising their interest rate, if they have the APR, they don't have to have all the other disclosures that you think that they have to have. And you always want to be careful whether you're a real estate agent or a loan officer in anything that you advertise, because you do have to have your license number and your brokerage on all your ads. And that is all your ads, and that's a test question. So I don't know how they're really looking at stuff like TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff for actual people that are advertising for business, because I don't advertise for business. I am actually doing stuff to help educate you and help you get your license. So watch out for all your rules and regulations, because once you have your license number, it's supposed to be on everything. If a loan ad contains only the APR, no additional disclosures are needed.